It'll be a repeat of the 2007 final. It'll be Samoa against Fiji. Fiji just too good for England. 28 points to 18. There were some very interesting news team-wise for New Zealand as we look at the Cup semi-final. What do you make of the benching of Zar Lawrence replaced by Tim Mickelson, Kaltenana?
Yes, that sends Lotte Loichenball out to the standoff role, and I think it's going to be a very physical game. Defence maybe not the best from Zar Lawrence in that quarter-final matchup. That'll be one of the reasons behind that move there, TJ.
Yes, he missed a tackle in the last match, didn't he? It's a tough old world, isn't it? One mistake. He's also played very well on attack. But Tim Mickelson, we know the form that he's in, and there he is in the number 2 jersey. He comes into the side for Zar Lawrence, and it'll be Thama and Loichenball.
Just outplayed at the end of the day.
Attention! It's finals time. The Cup final for 2010. Of the NZI Sevens. Coming up, Samoa and Fiji.
What a wonderful scene in Wellington, New Zealand. We've come to the final of the 2010 NZI Sevens, Samoa against Fiji. And under a beautiful evening, moonlight, beautiful still conditions. These two flags waving proudly. You see the left Samoa flag, to the right the Fijian flag, and the Maori welcome from the New Zealand people here. 55,000 paid to get in, and they stayed for the final, but there's a dramatic backdrop to the playing of the final because look at number 7, Lolalui. He has been suspended. Samoa have lost their captain for this game. He put the late tackle in the semi-final against New Zealand on Fritz Lee, and he's been suspended and will not play the final. Emozi Budanga will lead out the Fijian team. We presume Uali Mai will lead out Samoa. We'll have to check on that one. This Nigel Starmer-Smith is set for a classic final.
The 11th final indeed of the New Zealand Sevens, and well, just to show what a difficult title it is to win, there have been 4 different winners in the last 4 years. England, New Zealand, Samoa and Fiji. Now it's the battle of the South Sea Islands. The Westpac Stadium is rocking. The 2 unbeaten teams of the 2010 NZI Sevens. And there they are, both commanding the centre spot. And welcome to all of you watching live in that beautiful part of the world. Who will it be? Fiji or Samoa? Let's kick it off then. The referee is Andrew Lees from Australia. And to set things underway, my colleague who's seen all these finals is Keith Quinn.
And it's Uali Mai, Nigel, who is the captain, led them onto the field, and we've just received notification here in the commentary box that Lolalui is in fact suspended for 2 games. So this one and the first one next week in Las Vegas. So we've got the big forwards of Fiji on the right against the speedy guys from Samoa as this Pacific final kicks off. And there's the sign of the times, 10 minutes each way in the final. This game only. So they're starting with a bit of a disadvantage, Samoa, because Lolalui has been so much the guiding man behind their tactics on the field.
And yes, of course, someone has stepped up in his place. The man who wasn't even going to be here, only because he couldn't get a visa to play for Cornish Pirates in England. And it meant that Uali Mai was able to play here, and he's never played better than he did in the semi-final. Can he keep it up? We shall see now.
And there's Brian Limar, one of the greats of the world scene, and excited at the way his compatriots have played here in this final, no doubt. But can they do it one more time? Osia Kolinisau is through. He's a great speedster, but look at the tackle. But the handoff has come, and away goes Liuta Lutamalangi. What a lovely start for Fiji. He only got into the team to play in the Waisali Serevi role for this tournament, and my word, he's made the most of it. Lutumalangi.
What a start. Absolutely special that was. And one of the players of this season and indeed of this tournament, Osea Kolonisau, was the man who made it up. The man who's fulfilling the role we used to remember with William Ryder. But here, well, he's in the squad, but he's on the bench. And then it's this break. And then the support play, the awareness and the support of Yuta Lutumailangi from Torola in Nanroga.
Interesting, Nigel, the crowd here, a neutral crowd, of course, now apart from the nationals of Fiji and Samoa. Equal chance from the New Zealanders here for these teams, both very popular in the rugby sense in New Zealand.
On my call, please.
Standing at the back there, you see Lola Lui, right behind Karen Sutton, the physio, in his tracksuit, unable to play because he's suspended. Hear that chanting? Samoa, Fiji. I think the fans want a good game and they're going to get one. Officer Treviranis. There's Michele Pessamino, hit the referee. The game's got to stop. So there he is away on the right. It was a sad moment when he came wandering round to the team warm-up and stayed apart from them, but there was a lot of sympathy for him. But he did the crime, so he has to do the time, and it's a 2-match suspension.
And what a key part when it looks back to 2007, when Lola Lui was a hero then in the same final. Remember, against Fiji, they were 17-0 up. Fiji fought their way back to get within 3 points, but Samoa hung on for their first title here in New Zealand. And here's the man who was such a masterpiece of that tournament but missed the final. It's Uali Mai, former IRB Sevens Player of the Year. The switch ball from Paul Chantong, who's the one who's really stepped up to take the place. And the ball is tied in here. Away it comes. Here's the maestro, the great playmaker. And now the ball spun wide. They may not have the out-and-out pace, but this guy's a key. Pessamino, he's the quickest man. It's a race with Bole Mbole. And Pessamino scores the try back for Samoa. Wonderful play. A class act is this man, Michele Pessamino from Bailele. And it's back in the balance again. I think this is going to be an epic.
Beautiful play by Pessamino. Remember the dramatic tries he scored in that final you talked about, Nigel? And I think, if my memory serves me correctly, it was Lola Lui, dramatic late goals that he kicked, so missing some of that accuracy.
And he dropped that goal. Do you remember that was the winning score in the end, the drop goal, and he also broke his jaw. It was an eventful occasion.
And the other one you mentioned is Uali Mai. He couldn't play because he was so badly cut about the head, but he played on with bandages, swathed, and now he has gone from the sideline between the posts, all tied up at 7-all.
Well, what a masterful try and an unbelievable drop goal. Stephen Beetham could probably hardly believe it. The coach who took over from Rudy Moores in charge of the Samoan squad. The tension, the rivalry, and the crowd rapt attention.
Fiji have got to get their big man into the game. The big prop forwards, the big front row guys, Marutu, Kiotawa and Votu, numbers 1, 2 and 3. There you'll see these big giants. Look, they're step ladder tall, these guys, and they're in the forwards. But not only are they tall, they are very coordinated, very athletic, and you see them out wide running, quick. So you see the more nuggety little shape of the Samoan players here, and there's the spark, Budango. Big prop forwards, the big front row guys, and they're in the forwards, but not only are the shape of the Samoan players here, and there's the spark, Budango. He'll get them going to the back and going forward.
Emosi Budango alongside Uali Mai, old rivals, great operators, wonderful exponents of sevens. This is Kolonisau again. Now the quick switch. Fiji are sharp. Budango slips. Oh, and that's a crucial moment. It allows Samoa to perhaps make a turnover. They haven't. Kolonisau is still on hand. Referee's going to penalise. He's going to penalise Uali Mai. They just edged over the offside line. Quickly taken. Or it will be. Little delay. The big men, Mbrotu, and then Tuai. Look at this man, a giant of a man. Oh, nearly the subtlest of skills. Almost too clever. Fa'o Saliba. These guys who know each other's game so well. But will that Fijian front row trio dominate as they did in the semi-final against England? At the moment, the dancing steps of Apa Iona. Now Ualimai looks at the options, weighs it up, goes to Fa'o Saliba again to set it up. They pile in again, and Pessamino flips it on to Iono. Here it is in the corner. It must be for Labasa. Rupenia Labasa. Brilliant. For, oh no, he's called back. He's called back. Forward pass, I guess.
Big disappointment for Samoa. That was a wonderful build-up of teamwork there, and they put Labasa in the corner. But we'll look at the pass here. It must be this next one. Oh, touch and go. You be the judge. And didn't he finish it well? But unfortunately, that's not 5. Still, we're locked at 7 all. So Pio Tawai slowly back. 3 giant coconut palms there on the Fijian side. And you can tell Pio Tawai by the boots. And still the chant going up for both teams. This is marvellous. So this time it's away from Watasone Votu. We noticed that last night. In the late games, there was a bit of slipping and sliding. There's a bit of dew on the grass here in Wellington. We haven't had a drop of rain. And there's a pass brought forward by Pio Tawai. Remember last year the story about Tawai? He tried to lift some baggage off the carousel at Auckland Airport and did his back. So he couldn't play in the tournament here. But what a comeback. 12 months on, he's in the final here and a vital part of the Fijian team. We've got 2.5 minutes to play in the first half and it's, well, nothing in it. And so now it's Ualimai to set Samoa going again.
Pops it up once more into the hands of Labasa. Goes for the drive through the middle. All about handling, and that's the letdown, the little knock on there. Lets Fiji off the hook. The intensity of it is hard to put it into words, but the tempo of the game, the absolute total commitment and determination.
He's the biggest guy in the Samoan team, Samaika Makaele. 1.95 tall, that's 6'4", and he's dwarfed by 3 on the other side.
Busango changes the options. There's going to be pressure here, the pace of the men going back. These guys, the fitness levels, all the training on the sand dunes and the beaches, and he's dived over the top. So it will be a breakout chance for Samoa. Mikaele Pessamino just slows things down with Ualimai.
Tremendous player, Budango, the volleyball player when he's not a rugby sevens player. And there's off the side of the boot, over the sideline. And just mention again of the red armbands on the Fiji team in support of the restoration of Haiti.
I just thought for a moment you can say he was a basketball player. The front 3 might be, not Budango. Volleyball's different.
I saw a bit of volleyball earlier today. The ball bouncing around in the hands. He's a tremendously skillful player. There's Trevor Ennis. Used to play in Ireland over on the west in Connaught.
Side. 2.
Referee Andrew Lees has done all of the big finals really in the last year or so. And again, they're going to have the kick for sideline restart. No, they're not. Pessamino. He's put it into space. Now, where is the cover? Where's the rover? It's Budango. Was that man in front? He was.
Offside.
Offside. He was in front of Budango's kick. Here's a chance late in the half. 15 seconds to play till half time. Ualimai. Crafty little buggy. Got 3 tries in the semi-final. Makaele wide outside to Rupeni Labasa. And it's a second chance gone begging.
What a half. So nearly here, going into half time with the lead. What a boost that would have been. So nearly But they're going to play the touch, despite the 10 minutes being up, and of course the decision was given. So referee who's called Tio Tuai, they don't want to play any more of this half. So on a knife edge, but what excitement, what a final we have again here.
All wrapped up at the break. A try and a conversion each. It's 7-all. The Battle of the Pacific.
Done a wonderful job. Bear in mind that last season Samoa didn't make a single final, but they bounced back with him this season to win much better performances than before. Not to win a cup final, to make one in George, where they lost to Imperious New Zealand. And here are Fiji with Yesa Tanebula. They of course won the back end of last season in Edinburgh and the cup final in Hong Kong as well, to end up second. And now, who's it to be?
Big flag wavers, these two nations, and the Samoa Tulai, the national anthem of Samoa. One of the lines is, "Behold the stars on the waving banner, a sign Samoa can lead." And on the Fiji national anthem, the words, "We stand united under the noble banner blue." They love to wave the flags and be proud, and they're very proud of their teams right at this moment, locked up as the second half is set to go. Ofisa Kolonisau. And we know you're enjoying this knife edge battle in the Pacific. And away we go for the second half. It's Fiji as Lolalui sadly watches from the sidelines, suspended and unable to play in this final here in Wellington. Trevor Ennis, sorry, that's beautiful break there by Fausaliva, but great covering by Mbete. Now this is the policeman brought into the team for this tournament. Fantastic running. Beautiful play by Lutamalangi. The pace is critical. Emoji Budango goes against the tide, and he's away.
The tries there. Emosi Butango, the captain, recently celebrating the arrival of the baby daughter Anne. The man from Nandronga has broken the stalemate in spectacular style. That's one of a classical Fijian style, involving so many of the team. The hands were good, and then the smallest man by far in their team is the one who raced away with that extra pace.
Lutamalangi went to make a big pass, didn't he? And then Budango came against the tide, came against where all the Samoan runners thought the ball was heading to, and that opened up the gap, and he walked on down to score, and they lead now by 14-7. Long way to go. Kolonisau kicks out.
So can Samoa bounce back. The ball is in touch. It gives Samoa the throw, but they'd rather have had it in the hands straight off. Two teams who love to counter-attack from deep. 14-7, remember, it's a 10-minute half. And there, Ali Peretti Malo and Ilyesa Tanebula wait on. Whose day will it be? Two teams who have won this title in the last 4 years. In front of the Samoan post. This is the strength. These two teams great at the ruck and more. Mikaeli gets it away. The reverse pass is brave, but dangerous from Fausaliva. Referee says didn't go forward. So they come again. Mikaeli just building it up here. Uali Mai, the man with the vision. The long feed again. Have they got the pace though? There's so much speed in the Fijian defence. And In a way, that's one of the problems for them, not having Lola Louis, one of their quicker men. But they're still going. Chad Tung and Don, they drive. Playing advantage for offside. Advantage is over. Now, can they create? This is Lavasa, who's been, well, he's really stepped up in this tournament. And they get a penalty here as well. So coming in at the side. Referee is given a penalty, and it'll be Afa Iono who will leave it, I think, for Uali Mai. Samoa, well, how they bounced back from a poor season. The best was one cup semi-final this season, runners-up in Dubai. Played semi-final with St George, but this is another ball game against their keenest of rivals. This is the drive of Ahlakoti Fao Saliba, driving back for the first time in this half into the Fijian 22. It comes to Iono. It goes wide again. They've got 3 against 3. And it's Uali Mai. He's inspired in this final, as he was in the semi. The chance is on here, just short from Pessamino, I think. And it's behind the line. And Fiji can sigh a relief. Just went forward.
Time off call here. The referee's going to attend to an injury, is it, or substitution? But Uali Mai has really come into his own. There was questions about whether he'd be fit enough, sharp enough for sevens when he came here, because he's had a few weeks off. But Stephen Beaton called him up and said, can you play? He's come along. He didn't start in the first game, came off the bench, and he's just played his way in. Crowd absorbed. It's tense for everyone, especially the followers of Samoa and Fiji. And coming onto the field now is Numaya Vakavaka. He's got Numuli on the back of his shirt, but that's his other name.
Yeah, let's go. Number 1.
And away goes Rutu Mailangi. So here's Vakavaka. Now, another man heading off.
Yeah, it's Mbarotu, and I think they'll bring on Sakau Nivalu. They have an option here which just not in any sense weaken the team.
Send on the replacements one at a time, Nigel. You get a bit more breathing time. They stop the clock, certainly. Here we go. This Colin Sal's worked so hard out in the midfield. Oh, big scrum push coming through with Dango. Ever alert to the opportunities. And it's a chance for them now to tap and go.
No. You roll first. You move first.
William Ryder is onto the field. He must have sneaked on. Beautiful player of the game. One of the finest players we've seen on the circuit. He hasn't found touch, so he's handed the possession over now to Mai. And he brings it up in his measured way, as usual. Gets into Korpo Ryder, who's chased up his own kick. And now it's Fao Saliba. Swung away now through Upper Ione, out to Pessamino. Oh, fumble by Lavasa. No, that's Yosua is on. Now here's Ryder. Watch his feet. Now he's decided on the kick. So just a little bit of an untidy play there. It's got the guys on the sideline on their feet. And in the background, Lola Louis, the captain, not able to play.
Well, the tension mounts. There's so many one converted try between them, but it's Fiji with the edge. Fiji, who came up to the highest of standards last season to challenge New Zealand. Here they come now. Another score could decide it. The chase is on with Coloni Sao against Pessamino. Pessamino has to go down, wants to get on his feet again to release it. And the great support, but it's not enough. The referee says a knock on by Fiji. Uali Mai, how did he get back there? Pessamino was totally isolated. But it's a knock-on by Fiji, and so Samoa have a chance to counter as the clock ticks down. 4 minutes just under to play. The pace here unrelenting, the energy required after 2 days of such intense competition. And these big men up front, Salamaya Mbrotu, Pio Tuai, and now Setefano Sakau. Well, they have certainly. And in just looking up as I was saying that, off goes Uali Mai to get a bit of a respite, and Paul Chantong is the man to take his place at the moment. It's Joshua acting scrum half.
In the same tunnel.
Still Samoa again. Set again, says referee Andrew Rees. Well, rapt attention of the crowd, knowing this is still on a knife edge. Joshua under pressure. Now the breakout, the short side is Pessamino on the cut. He goes through and backs himself in the chase. Fathango's the sweeper for Fiji at the back. Clever little player, isn't he? And he's got away from Pessamino. Now he's going himself. Tries the slick reverse pass, but it wasn't slick enough, and it's picked up instead by Takataka Rokumbuli. That's Strider for you. The Serevi-like brilliance. Now 3-1 wide if they can use it. It goes on via Takataka, the kick and the chase. Kolonisau, the hero for Fiji.
Has he given it? Yes, he has.
Try is given. He looks to the heavens. And little Osea Kolonisau, my and probably yours too, Keith, man of the tournament, has scored in every round, and he perhaps here has brought the triumph home to the wonderful Fijian South Sea Islands.
Plays for the Covenant Brothers club in Suva. They'll be very proud right now. The Rover in the midfield has done so much, but he's mostly he teams up with the big forwards here and is waiting out wide. Then the little bump and run. They think the try was awarded, but did he make contact? Forget about the downward pressure thing. You've got to have control when the try is scored. So maybe the torso counts. Yes, it does. Through the hands onto the torso. That's good enough.
That's fair. What a performance, what a semi he played, what a final now. And that might just be the decisive moment, but there are still just under 2 minutes to play. Don't count anyone out yet. Don't certainly say Fiji have lost. We've seen them come back at the death.
So Ryder's taken over the kicking. Interesting, Ryder, a former soccer player. Colin Lissau, also a former soccer player. When he switched to rugby, he never thought he'd be any good at the game. They parked him out on the wing. And look at him now. Oh, here's a nice run by Fautua Otto for Samoa. Man inside, give the ball to Pessamino. Shut the gate. Now if they take the kick quickly, they're in touch.
What a final again. Fiji must have sort of sat back and thought 19-7, that looks good enough. But never count out Samoa.
And now it is not. What a game. Fautano Otto just onto the field. He didn't think he could see Pessamino. The crowd is in the tumult here, but he knew the man would be somewhere, and he flicked it inside with a look-away pass. And there it is, 19-14 now. Chance for Samoa to win it.
30 seconds to go.
Pessamino. Samaika Mikaeli. Oh, here they come for Osaliva. These are tough men. We have gone to the mountaintop in this game. Here it comes again. Samoa running it. The title in the balance. Otto. He held on. He didn't pass that time. Yes, he has. Lavasa. He's lost it forward. Scrum. Huda goes. Game is over. Fiji wins it. What a game. 19-14.
Well, incredible. The jubilation for Fiji. They've avenged that defeat of 17-14 when it went the other way to Samoa just, and now what a performance. Two outstanding teams and an outstanding final. They gave everything, and they gave the crowd a final yet again here in Wellington that we'll never forget.
And what a compliment to the Sevens game. No wonder the skyrockets are flying into the night sky. What a compliment to the excitement of the running, passing version of rugby this final has been. It took two Polynesian teams to do it, and they turned it on for us. We go to the sideline now. Here's Willie Losay.
Yeah, thanks, Keith. Listen, tell me what's going through your mind at the moment. Great effort for the boys, awesome final, and credit to someone, team, they pushed us, and wouldn't have asked for more from the boys.
What was the message at half-time? You went in, locked up. What did you need to do to make sure that you could get across the line?
We just needed to be patient with the pill, just put it around and look for gaps, and credit to the boys, speechless, mate.
A couple of young guys that you have brought in, and they certainly learned as the tournament progressed as well.
Yeah, good introduction for them, Wellington. One of the biggest tournaments in the series, so they will perform and hopefully to step up from here.
For those lucky of us enough to have been to your beautiful country, this is going live back home. Have you got a message for the millions of thousands of fans, rather, back home in Fiji?
Yeah, to everyone back home, it's been marvellous with the boys, and thanks for your support. And please.
Go and enjoy the moment. You deserve it.
Thank you.
Yeah, a happy coach there in Ilias Tanibula. And just a little interesting thought as we think back on another wonderful final. So Samoa and Fiji have met 7 times in a cup final, and it's gone alternately every time. The last time they met in a cup final was in London 2 years ago. Samoa won, so it was almost in the stars that Fiji would come back and win it again to keep it even.
In the stars of under the Southern Cross, Nigel, absolutely. And wasn't that a lovely moment? Just a little last couple of words from Tanibula, the coach. He broke up.